Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rajshree Chatterjee, Associate Professor, Jagan Nath University, Jaipur. Here I am going to give an introduction about the subject media law, its course objective, course contents, and the reference book or the suggested readings which a student should refer. And I will also be discussing about course outcome. So let's start about the subject media law. As you can see on the screen, name of this course is Media Laws. Course credit is 4. Course category is core, and this is a subject of first semester. And as you can see my name, I am the course coordinator. Let's begin with the subject. The course objective of this subject is, this course enables the student to understand various media laws, policy, and regulatory framework in India that affect media establishments, communication activities. This course will examine the success or failure of existing media policies and regulations in a technologically dynamic movement. The students will also be able to learn, understand, and analyze the broad range of specific ethical and moral issues pertinent to various aspects of the media. Before I go ahead, let's give you a deep description about the subject. This subject is divided in 5 parts. The very first part is about Indian Constitution. A brief introduction about Indian Constitution. In the second part, and in the first part, we have 3 units. In the second part, we'll be discussing about freedom of speech and expression. It also contains 3 units. The third part will be about legal terminologies and various committees, and historical perspective of press laws in India. This will be the third area of media laws. The fourth area will include all kind of press codes and ethics. And lastly, in the fifth area, we'll be discussing about major debates and court cases. This subject will also have a practical module as well. Like students can write a case study on ethical and moral responsibility of media in India, using examples and other case studies for a reference. Now, before I begin with the course content, let's understand the learning outcomes. It will help the student to understand broad range of specific ethical and legal issues pertinent to various aspects of the media. It will also help to investigate the technique and analyze the techniques for dealing with ethical practices by media and moral dilemmas that student may encounter in their professional lives. It will also help the student to examine the recent cases of ethical issues in media and analyze the general nature of ethical, legal, and moral discourse pertaining to professional communication. This course, at the end of this course, the student will be able to apply the ethical practices in national and international scenario. So let's discuss what are the contents of this course. The unit 1 will be about Introduction to Indian Constitution. In unit 1, we'll be discussing about directive principles and fundamental rights. We'll be also discussing about federal structure of India and relations between center and state. And in this subject, we'll be discussing about relations between center and state government. The second aspect is parliamentary and judiciary relations. So here we'll be discussing about the function structure of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and we'll be also discussing about the judiciary relations, powers and functions of Supreme Courts and High Courts, etc. The unit third is related to legal terminologies. For example, what is affidavit? What is bail? What is conviction? Sorry, these are the few legal terminologies that a student need to know. Unit 4 will be discussing about freedom of speech and expression, and here in this unit we'll talk about scope and importance of Article 19(1)(a) and 19(b). We'll also be discussing social responsibility and press, and we'll discuss about the role, function and importance of Press Council of India. Here in this unit we'll be discussing about two major laws, defamation and contempt of court, and several cases which are related to defamation and contempt of court in our country that we will discuss. Unit 5 will be related to various other laws like sedition, cyber laws, Working Journalist Act, Right to Information Act 2005 and Official Secrets Act. In Unit 6, basically this Unit 4, 5 and 6, this group of these three units will be discussing about varieties of law. So around 16 laws we will study in this section. So here we'll be discussing about Press Council of India, Prasar Bharati Act, Cable Television Regulation Act, TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, Cinematography Act, Information Technology Act, Convergence Bill, Copyright Act, Main Features of Press and Registration of Book Act. These are the major acts that we will be discussing. Now, after that we will move to the third part, that is terminologies. In this part we will start with historical perspective of press laws in India, that is press laws before and after independence. We will also study about press commissions, first and second press commission, and what is the outcome of all the press commissions. The third part will be all the committees, the report of all the committees and how this media has been developed step by step as discussed and decided by these various committees, that is Chanda, P.C. Joshi, Varghese, Sen Gupta committee. The fourth section is related to press codes and ethics. Journalistic values, journalistic code of conduct, which is further divided in three parts: separate code of conduct for press, separate code of conduct for television, and separate code of conduct for All India Radio and radio. We will study this in three parts, and lastly we will be discussing about advertising ethics. Yes, so then we'll study advertising ethics and public relation ethics. In this section, there are guidelines which are given by Press Council of India to journalistic ethics. So there will be a detailed study about that. And then concept of censorship, self-censorship, ombudsman, these kind of concepts will be discussed with the case studies. And lastly, in this section, we'll be studying about the functions and objectives of various media organizations, that is like Audit Bureau of Circulation, Editors Guild of India, National Broadcasters Association, Registrar of Newspaper of India. So this is the basic idea of Unit 4, just to inform the students that what all are the areas that we are going to cover. In the last section, we'll be discussing about major debates and court cases. So here, we'll be studying about how dealing Yes, in this fifth section, we'll be dealing with we'll understand that how to deal sensitively with women issues, and what are marginalized groups, and how to deal with the issues of marginalized communities. We'll also study recent court cases and new issues that are associated with media ethics. And in the second section of part 5, that is media trials, sting operations. These are the current practices, unethical practices that are being followed by media. So we'll be discussing that media trials, sting operation, corrupt practices like paid news, MediaNet, private treaty, and advertorials. And the last unit of this entire syllabus will discuss media, cross-media monopoly, and cross-media ownership of India. Majorly, I have discussed these 5 sections with you in which this entire syllabus is divided. And I have also tried to give you an idea that how the subject has been, designed, that it incorporates almost all the aspect of media law. So it will really help the student at the end of this course, that they will examine and analyze the general nature of ethical, legal, and moral discourse pertaining to professional communication. Now let's discuss that how we are going to conduct this LMS contents. LMS has 4 quadrants as under. In quadrant 1, there will be e-tutorials. So e-tutorials are designed on the basis of the course content that I have just discussed with you. It includes introductory video of the course, content videos, audios on each unit of the syllabi. So each and every topic will be taken from the syllabus, and you will see that faculty will give you a detailed introduction. They will teach you in that video. So that is what e-tutorial is. In the second quadrant, we'll be discussing e-content. That means it contains self-instructional material like e-books, web resources, research papers and journals, and other reference material. In quadrant 3rd, it is the discussion forum for students for raising of doubts and clarifying them on a near real-time basis. So, have you understood that how these 3 parts are divided? In the very first part, as per the syllabus, according to the design structured syllabus, will give you classes through video lectures. And in the second section, second quadrant, the reference book and the other materials will be provided to the students. In the third quadrant will be about discussions, and so that a student can clarify the doubts, and different topics on emerging issues will be uploaded from time to time, and students will participate in discussions. That is the purpose of the third quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, it relates to assessment, which contains fourth quadrant is basically the examination quadrant. So here we will do the assessment on the basis of question papers that will be given to the students, and the question papers are designed, and there will be 3 sections in every question paper. So the first section will be multiple choice question, the second section will be short answer questions, and the third will be long answer. And all the above have been uploaded unit wise at LMS. Every student need to appear for each unit, the questions for each unit. Now let's discuss the learning process and guidance note. Relevance of the course is that it will help the student. The course enables the student to understand various media laws, policies, and regulatory frameworks in India that affect media establishment and communication activities. The course will examine the success or failure of existing media policies and regulations in a technologically dynamic media environment. It will also help you understand and analyze the broad range of specific ethical and moral issues pertinent to various aspects of the media. In this course, the pedagogical processes will be live classes, assignments, quizzes, frequently asked questions, and clarification on general misconceptions will be there. The additional activities like master classes, lectures by industry experts and professionals, case studies, etc. Now let's discuss few reference books. The reference book is Law and the Media, an everyday guide for professionals. You can also refer to Media and Ethics, by S.K. Agarwal. Mass Media Laws and Regulations in India by K.S. Venkataramaiah. Press and the Law by A.N. Grover. Press in Chains by Zamir Naizi. Freedom of the Press, Some Recent Incidents by K.S. Venkataramaiah. Mass Media and Freedom of Press in India by K.S. Padhi. Battle for Freedom of Press in India by K.S. Padhi. Laws of Press in India by R. Chatterjee. I hope I have made you understood that the concept of this subject, media laws, the course objectives, the details of the course content, the kind of elements that we are going to provide to the students, the 4 quadrants in which the study will be provided, and the 4 quadrants by how a student will be able to qualify the subject. So these are the areas that we have discussed, and we have also discussed the course outcomes with reference books as well. So I hope it will solve all your queries regarding the introduction of this book, this course. Thank you so much.